Peace and love, strength and honor, Samir Saif representing Ontario Top Team. And today we are going to move into the Muay Thai series, and I'm going to demonstrate several different elbows. One of the things I want to talk about is fundamentals of Muay Thai. And what I want you to understand, physics in science doesn't change because of the style that you practice. So, I think my shorts are coming off. There we go. So you may not have followed my boxing series, so please go back and follow the boxing series. And what you're going to notice that the stance, the punches, the movement, the footwork is all going to flawlessly move in to the Muay Thai, and fundamentally there's no difference. When people explain differences, they are still constrained by style. They are not expressing it properly, in my opinion, with physics in science. Just because you want something to be different doesn't necessarily make it different. Physics is physics. Saying that, I will explain it in this analogy. When I was in grade 3 learning about gravity, and I learned about the guy Newton, and an apple hit his head and he came up with what goes up must come down. You know, things can't stay in the air. That was a limited understanding. As I grew up, I started to understand how you can manipulate the understanding. As I started to understand more about gravity, I understood why a helium balloon, why balloons could float and they didn't fall, or rocket ships would go to the moon. So it's not that gravity doesn't exist. Gravity is gravity. The fundamental, the concept, the rule, the principle doesn't change. Your understanding of it changes. And when you're limited by just your sport, your singular sport, you're going to make up rules, or you'll use the word adapt, modify, modified boxing, adapted for Muay Thai. Once you understand movement, you will just automatically make those adjustments without questioning the principles. The concept of a boxing stance doesn't change. Your understanding of movement and adapting to whatever's coming in changes. Saying that, I'll leave you to watch those series, and I'm going to assume from this video that you've watched them, so I don't have to teach you the stance, where to put your arms, your legs, what type of punches I'm throwing. Today I'm going to show you 3 elbows. So from the jab position, just like I would throw a jab, I'm just going to put an elbow on the end. So same thing, if I step with a jab, I step with a jab hiding behind the shoulder, that's the end part of a jab. And what you're going to notice is the same principles apply, is that I never want to lift my elbow and show you my armpit. I would never want to show my body, because if I miss, I've really opened myself up. And in the elbow position, I'm not really looking for power. I mean, have you ever run into an elbow? It's not about power. It's about proper structure and positioning the line of your bones that they run into it. This does not take power. This takes placement. So here we are, same position as a jab, and we call that the spike. And it's like, I look good. So I'm not going to go to hold the telephone and show my body or show my ribs. I'm not going to do anything funny with my hips. Just like a jab, I'm going to throw that elbow. I'm going to step the same, and I'm going to cover up back the same. Now with the cross, same thing. I step and rotate. I'm not looking for power. I'm looking for balance. Just like so. If I step with a cross that way, that's how I would step with an elbow spike. I'm going to try to use the bone surface here. I don't want to use the meaty part. I want to use hard bone, and I also don't want to catch it on the inside, so it's just about a quarter size above your elbow. So just to caution again, you want to stay away from lifting. There is a place for lifting, but it's not here with that kind of distance. If I'm stepping back and defending, or coming forward and defending, and I'm really keeping those hands in close. So that's a jab and cross movement, and that's a elbow movement with the spike, and the spike still covering my body. The second type of elbow is the horizontal elbow. And if you remember from the past videos, I showed you several different types of hooks from the rear and the front. So the horizontal elbow will be the same. I'm not looking for power. I'm not looking for over rotation. Same things that I look for in the hook. And now what I'm doing is showing the bone this way in a horizontal line, bringing the glove, the thumb, into my chest. Just like I would a hook, it's the same motion. Hook and hook, catching the hard part of the bone. Again, a reminder, not catching the outside. So I might step in and give a little shrug, step back, fade back. I could fade back with an elbow, and the way you fit them is you bring them close to the chest. And you'll notice that I do, from the 45 series and the other boxing series, I tend to always have the other hand here to protect me if I'm throwing an elbow. As soon as I come out into elbow position, my other forearm comes up. General rule is if you can throw an elbow, they can throw an elbow. The last elbow is the nailing elbow. And this is when you will see a bit of my armpit, and that would be the same in the punching series, is when you do those overhand punches or a specialized punching, you tend to leverage the punch and break some of the rules. So here, same thing, I would nail and I would nail. And again, if you notice, I defend with this and I want to get back to that defensive position. So it's like I come over and split them through the glove. I come over, rotate just like I would an overhand or a cross, and split them through. So let's review all of those elbows. I have the spike, the horizontal, and I have the nailing and the nailing. 3 elbows that all match the jab, the cross, the hook, the rear hook, the overhand, and the overhand. Peace and love, strength and honor. Samir Saif representing Ontario Top Team. Pow!